I am so tired of you acting like you speak for the people of the state of Indiana or the city of Indianapolis. You do not speak for me or anyone I know. Now listen, you two jerks. Jerks on the right.
Good morning, everybody. Hello. Greetings, salutations. Well, what is coming up on today's show? I will tell you, so much fire talk.
So much fire.
We're going to be talking about the fire a lot today. Also, UK rape gangs are a thing that we need to talk about. And Libs
these are terrible, horrible topics.
Not very good topics this morning, but we're going to get through them. And then Libs are losing whatever's left of their minds about the Gulf of America. We're talking about that and so much more. You guys can check us out on all of our things, chicksontheright.com/links. It's a great place to find all the things. Please do that. And then subscribe to this podcast. Click the subscribe button. If you can, we hope that you will, and then share it with some friends. Please do that.
Do it. Do it. So yeah, there's a lot of fire talk to get to. So many angles of the fire and so many different storylines of the fire. And so there's going to be a lot of fire talk today. And I guess we'll kick it off by first of all telling you that it is in no way contained and it's just spreading and things are getting worse and worse. And now we're starting to see, at least with the daylight from yesterday, of course, it's still dark in California, but with the daylight from yesterday, we saw what the Pacific Palisades looks like now, which is, I can't even process that this was a lush and wealthy city.
Oh my gosh. It's unreal.
Isn't it? It just doesn't even make sense.
It looks war torn.
Yeah, it really, really does.
Oh my
and
God.
Then somebody had tweeted about how Malibu also looks unbelievable. Here's a little video from Malibu.
We were my family and I were just there, 3 years ago? We went there 3 years ago and went up and down the PCH and everything. And oh my God. It's just awful.
Hi, Theo.
I know. I was contemplating whether I should let him out of the office because he usually doesn't sit in here. But for some reason, he wanted to sit with me today. Did you want to sit down, please? Can you sit?
He's like, I would like to be on camera.
He would like to make his appearance this morning and say hello to everybody. So everybody say hello to Theo. Yeah.
He's going to be right there.
He's a distinguished gentleman. He is.
There he goes.
Yes.
Look. Oh
He's
my God.
a good boy. Yes, he is.
And then also, I think this is also from the Pacific Palisades on the ground, a couple of dudes driving through it and just talking about what they're seeing. It's absolutely incredible.
Okay, I guess let's park along this street, yeah? And then, Dave, if you can, just go ahead of us and try to set up a signal.
Right here. This is where it's got to be. This is, oh my God. What? I've never... Look at this. Beyond comprehension. Oh. That's very sad.
And you were showing me the picture of the Hollywood sign under threat.
Hollywood sign. Yeah, we didn't get that into the lineup, but as of 6:24 a.m., right behind the Hollywood sign, the famous Hollywood sign up on the hill, flames.
Oh my gosh!
Hollywood Hills is burning.
Gosh.
Nuts, you guys.
It's so big and so out of control. And when I say it's out of control, I mean they do not and cannot get control of it. And this is according to the fire department themselves. Here is one of the fire dudes talking about how they don't have what they need
for the question. So I'll start at the end and work back. No, LA County and all 29 fire departments in our county are not prepared for this type of widespread disaster. There are not enough firefighters in LA County to address 4 separate fires of this magnitude. We were prepared. We did get state pre-position resources that came from Northern California that were up in the Santa Clarita Valley. We did hire additional firefighters from the LA County Fire Department and pre-positioned them in the Santa Monica Mountains, the LA County Fire Department was prepared for 1 or 2 major brush fires, but not 4, especially given these sustained winds and low humidities. Like our Director of Emergency Management said, this is not a normal red flag alert.
You know, and you and I were talking about before the show, just like the embers, right? If they were prepared for like 1 or 2 of these things, the embers come up in the air. Like we just had a pasture fire right before Christmas. And I was telling you that, you know, you see one little fire happening, you see the embers go up and you're like, crap, because you know that like out of the 50 embers, one of those could start another fire. And they did. And they were like, other little fires that started in our pasture. And thank God we have great volunteer, you know, fire department people that come to our house like immediately. And then there's like
who have water.
Right. And they do it immediately. I mean, because we live in a really small town and they took care of it. But like when I was watching that day, real time, I was freaking out because you can see can you imagine like take that and amplify that times a gajillion, which is what's happening right now. And it's uncontrolled. They cannot get this under control.
No, I mean, the last I heard is that because there was like 4 major fires raging right now, and one of them is 30% contained and all the other 3 are 0% contained. They just cannot. And they don't have the water to fight it. They don't have the resources they need to fight it. Their budgets were cut. Like everything has been mismanaged about this from start to finish. I mean, it's unbelievable.
The person in charge is a lesbian. And that, that's super important, right?
It is important. In fact, we have a little clip about just how important this is. I mean, we played the video yesterday, but there's even more. Like the links and the production value of all of the things that they did. Even their orientation program for new firefighters was like this.
We are hosting our new employee orientation, and our focus is to teach our new employees for them to understand cultural competency, identify implicit and unconscious bias, and be aware of the importance of us having a diverse and inclusive workforce.
Diversity is important because the different people bring different lenses to their job, and those different ideas, those different lenses are important to have the best practices for our industry.
Or just maybe fight fire.
Yeah. Maybe that's what you should be doing is fighting fire.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of blue, just hugely blue Democrats that are in California right now going, what have we done? You know what I mean?
I hope so.
I hope so too. That are really rethinking that their votes. Yeah. You know, I mean, it's because, oh my, you guys, what a complete nightmare this is. Now, I mean, there are also people like, I don't know if you have the tweet or not, like Bernie Sanders was trying to blame this on climate change and then wondering where Trump was.
Right.
And it's like, and Democrats are doing that. It's like Trump isn't president right now. He didn't do this. And I know we have clip upon clip of him asking Gavin Newsom, like when he's going to take care of this kind of stuff. Like forest management is something that he should have been in charge of. He should have been taking care of. He hasn't done that. He's just standing there with his hands, you know, in his pants, looking at the fires like that. Dude, I just, what an incompetent jerk this guy is.
Oh yeah. And we've got clips of him too that will just make your blood boil. But first we do need to remind everybody, because I think we've only mentioned them one time, and this is a sponsor of our show. It's OneSkin. Now I'm just going to start out by saying it's a brand new year. And why not start fresh with some amazing new skincare products? I don't know about you, but like in my shower, and my husband always screams at me about this, I have like 72 different kinds of shampoo and conditioner. Because okay, good. It's not just me. Because I always feel like your hair gets tired of the same products over and over again. And that is how I feel about skincare too. So you may love your skincare. We've used the same skincare forever and we've loved it. But also I feel like you need to change things up a bit and try new things. And OneSkin is the coolest thing. Let me tell you a little bit about this company. First of all, it was founded in 2016 by an all-woman team of scientists. And I'm not trying to be all like DEI on you here, But when I say it was designed by women scientists, it matters because women understand women's skin better than men understand women's skin,
It's true.
right?
Yeah,
Because they
it's true.
have women's skin.
Yeah.
So they're all PhDs in skin regeneration, stem cell biology, immunology, and bioinformatics. And they tested over 900 different kinds of anti-aging peptides until they found one. They developed one called the OS01 peptide, which is the first ingredient ever to reverse your skin's biological age by reducing the accumulation of senescent cells, which is one of the big drivers of your skin aging. So they have this whole line of sunscreens, which we've talked about, of skincare for your face, but also for your body. I have been loving this cleanser that they have because it's so light. It's not like one of those cleansers that you feel like you have to rinse your face for 7 years to get it all off. It's so, I don't even get it because like I'll put it on and I'll feel like I don't really feel, it's not like super lathery, but it removes makeup and you can just tell that your face is clean immediately. And it rinses off like lickety split. I love the body lotion.
I do too. That stuff is bomb. Yeah.
It's so light and not greasy and it just moisturizes so well. They've got such fantastic products. And of course, with our code CHICKS at oneskin.co, you will save 15%. It's 15% at oneskin.co with code CHICKS. And then if you buy something after you make the purchase and you use the code and you get your discount, they're going to ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. And invest in the health and longevity of your skin. I'm telling you, it's just like hair. When your hair gets tired of something, you just use different stuff. You mix it up a little bit. That's what we're doing with OneSkin. Visit oneskin.co and use code CHICKS to save 15%.
Do it.
Do it. All right. More about this DEI stuff. There was also a DEI bureau, a fire department DEI bureau that was created because that's what matters, again, to the LAFD. Listen to this news story.
Our department is launching its first ever Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Bureau. It is dedicated to ensuring a fair and equal workplace environment.
Eyewitness News reporter Christian Cordero is live in North Hollywood with more on what it entails and why it's necessary. Christian?
Ellen, Colleen, the discrepancies are stark, even just on paper. The LAFD this year hired its first ever female chief, and it says so far this year, 8% of its applicants have been women. That might sound like a small number, but it's actually twice the percentage of female firefighters currently in the department. Every day, the LAFD is called upon to respond to crises, and today it is taking a step to resolve one of its own. The department's first ever Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Bureau will launch in January, 1 year since its first ever female fire chief, Kristen Crowley, was appointed.
So by creating this new bureau, our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Bureau, now we actually have the staff to do the work when it comes to doing a deep dive in regard to how we do business, how we take care of one another in the fire stations and in our work environment.
The plan is to do so by adding training and enforcing accountability. Calls for accountability have echoed for years. In 2021, women's advocacy groups, including one representing female firefighters, pushed for changes at the highest level, saying a system within the department exposes them to abuse, bullying, and a culture of intimidation and retaliation.
I can't.
They're just not accountable for having water for fires.
It's just
that it's astounding, isn't it? I mean, it's just staggering to watch this crap.
The priorities are just incredible. And then I know, like, it's been years, but I know that we've written on our website, chicksontheright.com, about different standards that fire departments set to employ either women or male firefighters, right? And so I don't want some 5'1", 125-pound female firefighter being the one that's going to have to get my husband out of a 3rd-story house.
Right.
Okay. That makes no sense. And when they lower the physical requirements for women, it's the people who suffer for that. I can't believe that this is not just, how is this not obvious?
Well,
you know what I mean?
Well, it's become obvious if they've obviously focused on DEI, and we're seeing how that pans out right now. We're seeing it.
Yeah.
It's 24/7 on the news, you guys. We're seeing it. California is burning.
Yeah.
We're seeing how that works out.
And there's no one like Megyn Kelly to just summarize how stupid this entire thing is. No one cares about the fire chief's sexuality.
No.
And here is Megyn to absolutely go off about it.
Gives a shit if the fire chief is gay.
Nope.
I'm sorry, but who gives a flying fig about who she likes to sleep with? Can you fight the fucking fires, madam? That's the relevant question. We don't care about your lady parts, and we don't care who you want having access to them.
Yeah.
Can you fight fires? Can you make sure there's water in the fire hydrants when you realize in Ventura County this is a massive problem? When you realize that California is going through a drought where they haven't had rain in weeks and months, I don't care who turns you on. And you know why they have only 100 women in a squad of 3,300? Because women tend to be smaller and not as strong. And unless you lower the requirements to become a firefighter, most women can't pass the test. This is an absurdity. This is just like the Secret Service and what happened with Trump.
Yep.
We needed all these women in there who weren't even tall enough to protect the 6'3" president. Under this woman, Ms. Crowley, the department created a diversity, equity, and inclusion bureau to train firefighters not on refilling the hydrants or what to do when they're empty, but on the importance of DEI.
Yeah, and you know what? We're mad at that chick for doing it, right? People are mad, but I mean, people voted her in. So who should we be more mad at? You know what I mean? I mean, the people... We live in a constitutional republic, y'all. I mean, it's like these people voted these jackholes in. I don't know what to say other than this. You get the government you deserve. You get the government you freaking deserve. And listen, I'm also super stoked that Ukraine, their firehouses are staffed just fine. They've got
in fact,
water.
LA sent their excess supplies to Ukraine.
Right.
So that was handy.
Ukraine is fine. And you know, there are Republicans who voted for that shit. Dan Crenshaw is one of them, by the way. Just like to point that out. He's
our best friend.
He's our BFF. Dan Crenshaw, if you're watching this, which I'm sure you are, you voted for that. Weird how he's silent about that. Yeah, but there are other Republicans who were just fine, not just Democrats, but Republicans who were just fine sending money to Ukraine for their firehouses. And they are fine with water. They're fine logistically with their firehouses. Weird how that works, isn't it?
It's just, the whole thing is maddening. And actually, it's not terribly new, this whole idea of, you know, making sure that the LA Fire Department is super diverse. It actually goes back several years. Here is Adam Carolla in a congressional hearing talking about how he tried to become an LA firefighter back in the day. And this is what happened to him.
Geez, I want to talk about my white privilege so badly. I graduated North Hollywood High with a 1.7 GPA. I could not find a job. I walked to a fire station in North Hollywood. I was 19. I was living in the garage of my family home. My mom was on welfare and food stamps. And I said, can I get a job as a fireman? And they said, no, because you're not black, Hispanic, or a woman. Wow. We'll see you in about 7 years. And I went to a construction site and dug ditches and picked up garbage for the next 7 years. I got a letter in the mail sent to my father's house saying, your time has come to do the written exam for the LA Fire Department. I took it, and I was standing in line, and I had a young woman of color standing behind me in line, and I said, just out of curiosity, when did you sign up to become a fireman? Because I did it, or a person, 7 years ago, and she said, Wednesday.
Oh my God.
That is an example of my white privilege. It's
unreal.
It's just absolutely ridiculous.
It is. Wow.
It's quite a story, right?
Yeah, it
quite
is.
A story.
And he's probably one of so many that have experienced the same thing. Yeah.
And I'm sorry. I would rather have Adam Carolla as a firefighter than somebody who cares more about who she sleeps with.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Or some overweight lesbian. I'm sorry, but
some overweight 5-foot woman who, I don't care how much melanin she has in her skin. I don't care. This is the thing. Yeah. But gosh, we got to keep him out of there for 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Unreal.
Insane. Absolutely insane. Speaking of being overweight, you guys know we've talked a lot about one of our best sponsors, Brickhouse Nutrition, which is who gives us Field of Greens. And I know you guys know we've told you lots and lots about Field of Greens. Well, from those same people, Brickhouse Nutrition, there is a new weight loss supplement called Lean. Look at that. So this is cool because it's kind of like you just take 3, they give you the supply. It's a supplement that you take after breakfast. You take 3 of them, and it's for people like if you have, not like you're morbidly obese, but you have like a moderate amount of weight that you would like to lose. And you are afraid of injections. Cause like I'm one of those, I would be afraid of the injections. There's so many side effects.
I wouldn't want to do that either.
But this is for people who would maybe be tempted by the injections but are afraid of the side effects, because those shots work in part by lowering your blood sugar and regulating your appetite. And that's exactly what this supplement does. So the science behind Lean, super impressive. Its natural studied ingredient targets weight loss in similar ways as the injections do. It helps you maintain healthy blood sugar. It helps control your cravings and your appetite. And it helps burn fat by converting fat to energy. So it does all of these things. I'm going to be starting this because I have had to be such a freaking slug ever since I can't walk. Since August, I haven't been able to move my body in a meaningful way. And so I'm going to be trying this and I'm pretty stoked about it. And if you want to try it with me, you should just visit takelean.com and use code CHICKS20 to get the discount. CHICKS20 at takelean.com. If you're afraid of the injections, I don't blame you. Why not try this? Takelean.com. Okay, so do you remember how Dave Rubin and Chunk Yogurt had that big fat fight on Piers Morgan?
Yes.
So now
it was more Chunk Yogurt yelling at him. But
right.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So Dave Rubin brought that up yesterday and said a few weeks ago on the Piers Morgan show, grotesque ogre Chunk Booger
Oh my gosh.
was screaming at me for saying DEI should have no place in California fire departments. DEI isn't just wrong because it's repackaged racism. It's also wrong because once it enters the system, it takes attention and resources away from the actual mandate of the institution. There is finite time and manpower. And if you waste it on DEI, your core competency will diminish. It is as simple as that. I thought that was so well put.
It is. It's absolutely true. And we're seeing it. We're seeing it play out. You cannot deny that.
No,
I mean, you can be as liberal comes and you can try very hard to deny what's happening here, but you just can't. It's playing out.
I don't know what more evidence people need at this point.
Exactly. Bernie Sanders, take all the seats.
Oh my God. The people that are saying that this is, I can't.
I know,
this
right?
This is not about freaking climate change.
It isn't. It's not. It's not about climate change.
And then also FEMA, who you would think would be hyper focused on the fire. I could not believe that this was an actual tweet from FEMA or an actual article about FEMA yesterday, but this is real. This is from The Advocate. This is an actual article that says, meet the gay man helping FEMA fight misinformation during natural disasters. Someone thought this was an appropriate story to come out yesterday.
Unreal.
On the 8th.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's as bad as the Kardashians pushing their new show yesterday.
Right?
Yeah. It's what is it? The one that looks like OJ Simpson's kid.
Chloe.
I don't even. Yeah, that
Why
one.
do I know that? Remove that file. Remove it.
That one. She's seriously, I was on Twitter yesterday and she was like, let me push my new show in Fantasyland, California on the day where literally California is burning down. I'm like, can we just maybe get a new PR person? Because
oh my God,
you're not doing it correctly. Yeah. These people tone deaf, totally tone deaf.
Oh my God. Yeah, just completely tone deaf. So like we said earlier in the show, lots and lots of different story angles about the fire. And one of those angles, an important one, is how Trump has been talking about these problems for freaking ever, you guys. So 4 months ago, we've got a clip of Trump from 4 months ago. He was in LA County and he was talking about the need for California to send more water downstate, which is something that Gavin Newsom has refused to do. Here is what Trump said just 4 months ago.
And you have so much water, and all those fields that are right now barren, the farmers would have all the water they needed. And you could revert water up into the hills where you have all the dead forests, where the forests are so brittle, because no place is like California. I go to Austria. The head of Austria tells me, we have trees that are much more flammable than what you have in California. We never have forest fires because they maintain their forests. And you have all that water that could be used as water, what they call water flow, where where the land would be damp. And you'd stop many of these horrible fires that are costing billions and billions of dollars by the federal government, et cetera. So one thing I'm going to do for California, vote for me, California. I'm going to give you safety. I'm going to give you a great border. And I'm going to give you more water than almost anybody has. And the farmers up north are going to be able to use 100% of their land, not 1% of their land.
Yeah. But I mean, he didn't do that. Gavin Newsom didn't do that. He wasted billions on illegals instead of doing what he should have done, which is, forest management and actually taking care of his people. He didn't do that. This is the thing. When you give men, small men like Gavin Newsom positions of power, they squander. Actually, they don't really squander it. They demonize, they oppress, they let all that stuff go to their heads.
And they redirect blame where on climate change or on Trump. Like the people that are blaming Trump at all, when Trump isn't even in freaking office right now, I'm just like, what is even happening?
Yeah, it's nuts, isn't it? Yeah. Gavin Newsom is a small, insecure man. Confident men don't do what he has done to the state of California. Like, can you imagine if this happened in Florida?
Oh, it would never. It would never.
Right. But can you imagine, just say, because there have been natural disasters in Florida, right? But just imagine,
they're prepared for them.
Right. But imagine if there was a fire in Florida, there would not be a guy standing there with his hand in his pants, just looking. DeSantis would burst into action and he would get crap done. That's what he does. There would be no blame game. There would be no, it's climate change. He would take care of it. He would take care of business because that's what leaders do.
Yep. That's exactly right. And a lot of the water problems from California all stem from this stupid little useless fish called the Delta smelt that they've been environmentalists, the whack jobs out there have been trying to protect this useless little fish for as long as we have had our website. And I was reminded about that because as soon as I heard Trump in a different clip talking about the freaking Delta smelt, I was like, oh my God, I wrote about them back in 2009. You guys, this is from our website, my article talking about restricting water to Central Valley, which is a region that has tons of farm crops. And it's cutting off water, not just to the farmers, but of course to the cities, and it's causing job losses. And the reason was because of those stupid fish, because they're on the endangered species list, but they don't even do anything. Like they don't help anything. They only live in California. They serve no purpose. And so, but this is what's important to the environmentalists. And so they end up wasting all this water. They dump it into the Pacific Ocean instead of letting it flow and keep the ground damp, as President Trump said. It's so completely stupid. I just, oh my God.
Yeah. So what's better? What's happening now or saving the smelt?
Right? It's just incredible. And then Trump, remember when Trump was on Joe Rogan, how big of a deal that is? They also talked about this very issue on Joe Rogan's show. Here is that clip.
They said, we have no water. I said, do you have a drought? No, we don't have a drought. I said, why don't you have no water? Because the water isn't allowed to flow down. It's got a natural flow from Canada all the way up north. Water, more water than they could ever use. And in order to protect a tiny little fish, the water up north gets routed into the Pacific Ocean. Millions and millions of gallons of water gets poured. I could have water for all of that land, water for your forests. Your forests are dry as a bone.
Yeah.
Okay?
Dangerous.
That water could be routed. You could have everything. Oh, not only dangerous, billions of dollars a year they spend on forest fires. And, there's a case with the environment. They're not allowed to rake their forests because you're not allowed to touch it. And all they have to do is clean their forest, meaning rake it up, get rid of the leaves, get rid of, leaves that are sitting there for 5 years. And
we'll certainly get rid of the dead fall.
And get rid of the trees that have fallen that are like.
And what about the animals that are dying in these forest fires? Do the environmentalists care about that? Do they care about the livestock? Do they care about, the plants, do they care about those things? Or they just care about this tiny little, they get very tunnel vision and they care about this little, I think we should start a hashtag F the smelt. F it. Seriously. It's like, what is with the tunnel vision on these things? Can they not see the big picture? Like,
well, clearly not.
Adults
they clearly cannot.
It's nuts.
It is absolutely insane. There was also this tweet about the $2.7 billion water storage failure. I didn't know this, but like 10 years ago, voters gave California $2.7 billion under a certain proposition number 1 to secure the water future with new storage products. And 10 years later, not a single reservoir has been built, not a single solitary one. And so where's the money? And this is squarely on Gavin Newsom. He is the one that is in control of the state. How much more of California has to burn before he takes care of it?
Dude is famous for taking money and not spending it where it's supposed to be spent, right? I mean, he is famous for where's all the money? Where's all of it? The only thing that we know he spends money on is illegals. That's it.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Where the hell's the rest of the money, dude? I mean, there should be an uprising in California where people are like, where is our money? You have spent it on all the illegals, but on all the things that you're supposed to be spending the money on, you're not spending the money on. But they don't seem to care. A lot of Californians just simply don't care. They keep putting this guy in a position of power. It's madness.
Yeah. It is absolute madness. And Trump tweeted a pretty strongly worded tweet about Gavin. Do you want to read that, please?
Sure. Governor Gavin Newsom refused to sign the water restoration declaration put before him that would have allowed millions of gallons of water from excess rain and snow melt from the north to flow daily into many parts of California, including the areas that are currently burning in a virtually apocalyptic way. He wanted to protect an essentially worthless fish called a smelt by giving it less water. It didn't work, but didn't care about the people of California. Now the ultimate price is being paid. I will demand that this incompetent governor allow beautiful, clean, fresh water to flow into California. He is the blame for this. On top of it all, no water for fire hydrants, not firefighting planes, a true disaster. It is a disaster.
I thought that was beautifully said.
100% correct. There's nothing there that was incorrect.
Yeah. I mean, he's calling out who needs to be called out. And so all the Democrats, including Newsom, who will play a clip of him responding to that attack, all the Democrats who are like, I can't believe Trump is playing politics with this. It's politics that created this.
Absolutely.
Of course he's going to call it out.
Yeah.
Trump is, it's like the people that are calling it out actually care about making sure this doesn't happen again. That's all he's been saying for years.
What do these people want him to say? Oh, he's doing a great job.
Right.
Great job, Gavin Newsom, with your taking of the money and not doing what you're supposed to do with it. And great job with California. Your state's on fire. Good job.
God, I mean,
shut up with you and your feelings. Your feelings don't matter right now. Your state's on fire. Oh my
Gavin
gosh.
Newsom doesn't care. He does not care.
He doesn't.
He cares only about power. And you know who else doesn't care about you? And that is Pharma. Big Pharma doesn't give a crap about you. And that is why we love having All Family Pharma as a sponsor of our show, because you can get from All Family Pharma, you can take control of your health by having medications on hand, prescription medications on hand to take care of your health in the case of an emergency, in the case where you need like an antibiotic for a simple infection or a simple, bacterial issue like bronchitis or whatever. If you have an issue like that, the worst thing you can do sometimes is go to an urgent care or an ER where you're surrounded by more sickness. Instead, you can get drugs at home, including ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine and other drugs that are really hard to get sometimes because of all of the crazy out there when it comes to COVID. I'm not sure that I didn't have COVID over Thanksgiving. My husband's convinced that we did.
Really?
Yeah, because
Okay.
I lost taste, but it wasn't for as long as I lost taste the first time I had COVID. So I wasn't sure, but man, was I ever sick as a dog the first week we were here. And
Yeah.
so I was super glad that I had already gotten my kit from All Family Pharma, and I immediately took azithromycin, and I was better within 2 days. I was immediately better. And so it is so nice to have that stuff on hand, especially when we just got here. We had no idea where to go or like where the urgent care even is. So I was just super, super grateful to have it on hand. And so they have all kinds of different medications, very, very easy to go to their website and pick out and choose what you want to have on hand for you and your family. You just need to visit allfamilypharma.com/chicks and use code CHICKS10 to get 10% off of your entire order. I want to make sure that website is right.
Allfamilypharma.com.
Allfamilypharma.com/chicks. Yes, that is right. Allfamilypharma.com/chicks. And the code is CHICKS10. Don't forget the 10. Okay, so how did Gavin Newsom respond to the fire, first of all, and then also to Trump? Let's just hear this very short clip when a report, I think it's Anderson Cooper even. Anderson Cooper says, you know, some of these local firefighters don't have water. Like, what do you say about that? You're not even going to believe what Gavin Newsom said. This was his answer.
What is the situation with the water? Obviously, in Palisades, ran out last night in the hydrants. I was trying the firefighter in this block. They left because there was no water in the hydrant here.
The local folks are trying to figure that out.
Local folks are going to figure it out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's going to be busy at French Laundry having some dinner.
Right.
Local folks are going to figure that out, you guys. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's
Again, deflect.
Yep.
You know,
no
shift
accountability.
blame.
Right. Mm-hmm.
What a piece of shit that guy is.
Yeah, he's there in his he's there in his quarter zip. You know, he's like, look at me, right here on the scene. My hands in my pants. It's fine. They're gonna figure it out. What a douche this guy is.
Oh my God, the worst of the worst. And so then Anderson asked him, and he was of course like asked him in just such an Anderson way, like, I hate to even bother you with this piddly
because I
little
really
man.
think you're hot, and maybe at one point we can date, but I cannot just shut up.
I can't, because what Gavin Newsom, his response to Trump's criticism is to basically prop up Joe Biden. Listen.
Discussion, but the president-elect chose to attack you, blame you for this.
One can't even respond to it. I mean, it's people are literally fleeing. People have lost their lives.
Yeah.
Kids lost their schools. Families completely torn asunder. Churches burned down.
Yeah.
This guy wanted to politicize it.
Oh my God.
I have a lot of thoughts, and I know what I want to say. I won't. I stood next to a president of the United States of America today, and I was proud to be with Joe Biden. And he had the backs of every single person in this community. He didn't play politics, didn't try to divide any of us.
Finally, your message.
No, he didn't play politics or try to divide because he was too busy talking about how great it is that he's a freaking great grandfather now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what Joe Biden was doing.
Which is interesting that he would acknowledge that grandkid. It's like, that's nice. You're going to acknowledge that one and not the other one. He just skips over some, right?
So he was given a script to read because Biden is too demented to just be able to talk off the cuff like a leader.
Right.
And so he read a script, and then he was like, yeah. Like there was I guess a reporter that asked about specific people who were wondering if their home was lost. And Joe Biden was like, yeah. I mean, we don't know yet, but like, listen to my great news.
Notification yesterday that their home was probably burned down. Today, the parents are maybe still standing, I'm not sure. But the good news is, I'm a great grandfather as of today.
Oh my gosh.
I have a granddaughter. And baby girl, baby boy.
He didn't even know what they had. He was like, baby girl. I mean, baby boy.
Yeah. Again, with the tone deafness.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. These people just have no business running a dry cleaners.
Right?
Let alone the country and a state.
Wow.
Yeah.
I could not believe that was real. Like people started tweeting about it and I was like, there's no way. Somebody's taking this out of context. There's no way this happened.
It happened.
It happened.
It happened. Yeah.
And then of course, Mayor Bass, who was off in Ghana when all of this went down, and of course then had to quickly fly back home. The Sky News reporter caught up with her as she was boarding the plane, asked her 2 full minutes worth of questions directly at her, like super close, just like close as me to my screen, super close to her, asking her to make any statement, any comment whatsoever to the people of her city. And for 2 straight minutes, she just pretended like she couldn't hear him. I'm not going to play the full 2 minutes, but you just need to see how ridiculous this was. It's remarkable.
Do you owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today?
Wow.
Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today? Elon Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position?
That's about right.
Madam Mayor, have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today who are dealing with this disaster?
Is a couple
No
screws
apology
loose up
for
there?
them? Do you think you should have been visiting Ghana while this was unfolding back home?
It's unreal. What is wrong with these people?
And he followed her. He followed her out on through the tarmac, all the way up to, and kept asking her questions. She just would not answer. It made her look so bad.
She already does look bad. Y'all, Theo is smarter than that broad. I'm serious. He could do a better job, right? And he's sleeping right now. It's astounding to me. How do these people get into office? But again, I go back to the people. We live in a constitutional republic. People elect these morons, these absolute colossal idiots. She's an idiot. And she's in charge of things. She's like, I'm going to go off to Ghana on vacation. What the hell do I care? Because I'm mayor. I mean, it's like, what? I mean, that's not it. What? Like, it's hard. It's like, and there will be, will there be accountability? Well, I mean, that's the thing. Will there be any accountability with her? Because I don't know. It's
doubtful, very doubtful.
Yeah.
And then, of course, she held a press conference with written out talking points, because this is not something that she could speak to as a leader on her own. So she obviously, in the notes that she was given to read, she was told in there to say, hey, for information about resources and how to get help, go to this website. She didn't do that right, you guys. Here's what she ended up saying.
This is an active situation, and conserve water to the extent that you can. We want to make sure that we are ready if we need more water. But make no mistake, Los Angeles will rebuild stronger than ever. Right now, if you need help, emergency information, resources, and shelter is available. All of this can be found at URL.
All of this can be found at URL. What did I just hear?
That's what you heard.
You guys. There's no way that this chick graduated high school. There's no way.
I can't.
It can be found at URL.
Pretty sure there was an actual URL she was supposed to give out. Text
I'm out.
IRS
Gov. I am out. I can't. I'm done. I'm done with the internet today. I'm done with news. I'm done. I can't. I'm done. Cannot.
So I'm glad that California has the resources they need, thanks to the mayor.
Jeez Louise.
Oh my
gosh.
It was an
Okay.
embarrassment.
Yeah.
And then Trump and Melania went to go pay their respects to Jimmy Carter at the Capitol yesterday. And so reporters caught up with him and they were asking him about the fires. And these were his comments as of last night.
I believe that federal aid should be provided to California for as long as it takes.
Well, it's very sad because I've been trying to get Gavin Newsom to allow water to come. You'd have tremendous water up there. They send it out to the Pacific because they're trying to protect a tiny little fish, which is in other areas, by the way, called the smelt. And for the sake of a smelt, they have no water. They had no water in the fire hydrants today in Los Angeles. It was a terrible thing. And we're going to get that done. It's going to finally be done. I got it done from the federal side, and he didn't want to sign it, but it's not going to happen again like that. There's no reason. Can you imagine? You have farmers that don't have any water in California. They have plenty of water. They don't have a drought. They send it out to the Pacific, and it's crazy. So what's happening in California is a true tragedy.
Man, the smelts have got fish. The smelts have got targets on their backs now. You know, they're like in the water going, "Oh shit." We're like they, you know what I mean?
Where's about the? I don't even think you can eat them. Like I think they're utterly useless.
I think somebody said that they are delicious. I think one person in here did say that they are. But
Really?
I mean, like, eat a freaking bluegill. Nobody cares. I mean, don't they all? The fish all taste the same, right? I mean, come on. Let's just get real.
F the smelt.
F the smelt, you guys. F it.
Also, we talked about James Wood. So many celebrities have lost their houses entirely. I was actually really sad to read Billy Crystal's statement. He and his wife have lived in their house for 45 years.
Yeah, that's devastating.
I can't even imagine. And so he wrote a statement about how, you know, they've lived there for that long. They've raised their kids. They've raised grandkids. They have all these just memories in that house. And it's 100% disintegrated, gone, ash. It's just nothing. And so many other celebrities, I mean, the names, like it was Ricky Lake, it was Spencer Pratt and Heidi Montag, it was Anthony Hopkins, it was James Woods, of course, who we talked about yesterday. And he was actually online. There were some amazing tweets that were going around as we mentioned, about people trying to blame all of this on climate change. And one of those people he responded to because they called him out. So this person who calls himself Lucifer said, the irony of James Woods, known for his skepticism about climate change, losing his home to the very wildfires linked to climate change impacts in California is striking. And James Woods fired back, this fire is not from climate change, you ignorant asshole. It is because liberal idiots like you elect liberal idiots like Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass. One doesn't understand the first thing about fire management and the other can't fill the reservoirs.
Yeah. And
I'm so glad he said it.
James Woods is 150% correct.
Yep.
And the devil is wrong.
The devil is wrong. Absolutely. He was on with Laura Ingraham last night, but then earlier in the day, he was on CNN and completely just broke down. And it was absolutely heartbreaking. You guys.
It really was. It really was heartbreaking. Yeah.
Watch.
I'm 77 years old, man. I can't walk up these hills. It's like Mount Everest there. It's like, pretty steep. So, it's just I posted this on X, but Sarah was on with her 8-year-old niece last night. She came out. I'm sorry. Just, one day you're swimming in the pool and the next day it's all gone. But she came out with her little Yeti piggy bank for us to rebuild our house.
Oh my gosh. James Woods, we all hope that you will be able to rebuild your house, maybe starting with that little Yeti piggy bank. And we're just glad that you're okay and your wife is okay.
I'm sorry,
you have your
I'm
lives.
usually,
Yeah, no, I mean, this is real and it's raw.
I thought I
and
would
you,
be stronger than this.
you don't need, you are, you know what? It's strength is not measured by whether, you hold in crying or not. Strength is what you are doing now and helping your neighbors and shining a light on the great, amazing work of all those firefighters and emergency crews out there. You have
they're
so much
great.
strength, and
They're
we
great.
appreciate you coming on to reflect what so many others just like you are experiencing in that raw emotion right now. We wish you the best, you and your wife, as you rebuild your lives. So many people are doing that right now and trying to process what's going on. So, James, and also keep us posted on your 94-year-old neighbor and everything going there. We're going to continue to talk, and we wish you the very
He's
best.
okay. He's okay.
Yeah.
They found him. He's in the hospital.
He's okay, yeah.
I just worry. If anybody knows where Robert Trinkteller is, call me.
Yeah.
Let me know. All right.
That's
Thank
an
you so
important
much.
message. And also there's this app that's really important.
I just hope he rebuilds in another state.
Yeah.
I don't know why he was still in California. It doesn't suit him,
Mm-mm. But I imagine that he's probably been in his house for years and years and years and years.
He probably
and it's hard
to leave.
to pick up and leave everything. I mean, I
Right.
know just from like moving voluntarily, you know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
That
I
it is
get
a bitch to move. And
It is.
being
It is.
77 and doing it. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
I just, and this may be an inappropriate time to ask this question. I'm going to do it anyway, because sometimes I'm inappropriate. But I wonder if those, really well-to-do people in Malibu will, who lost everything, will get treated like the people in North Carolina. Because there are a lot of people in North Carolina right now who still are homeless and hurting. And they're watching this disaster and they're probably wondering, wait, what's going to happen there? Because I know what's happening here. I mean, I have a friend from high school who's still displaced.
Oh my God.
She's in California. She's in North Carolina. And she's like, we still haven't, we have no help here. Like things suck in North Carolina. And so I just wonder if there's celebrity privilege. And we all know there's celebrity privilege. So just curious if it's going to be different there. I mean, granted, it's not over yet, and there's a lot. Oh my God, can you imagine the rebuilding that's going to have to happen in California? It's just insurmountable. It's like, I can't, it's devastating.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wonder how long that will take. And, Trump's getting back into office. So I think things are going to change, but I think hopefully things will change for the people of North Carolina too. I hope.
I know. And then with all of this happening, leave it to just absolute liberal scumbags on the internet to just say, I mean, you think you're inappropriate? This is what's inappropriate. This Mizzou professor named Karen Piper said, James Woods' house is burning down. It's karma calling. I mean,
lady,
gross.
Shut up. Yeah.
And then she deleted it. Of course, the internet's forever. She deleted that, but then never said anything about why she deleted it. You know what I mean?
I shouldn't have said that. Yeah. And she's a professor, which tells you everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we wonder why kids are coming out of college all screwed up. Yeah.
Well, and also I think we mentioned yesterday that James Woods was one of the people in a neighborhood impacted by the loss of insurance just a few months ago, several weeks ago. And so, again, you have to wonder, like he's not even insured. So when he goes to rebuild, it's on him. Like it's all his own money. It's all on him to rebuild and recover those losses in any way that he can. And so we've got more information on the whole insurance part. One message from Justine Bateman, who said a couple years ago, insurance companies put in the necessary requests to the state of California to raise their rates. They were denied. So in other words, there were price caps imposed on the insurance company. So a bunch of them pulled out of California. She says it's been extremely difficult, if not impossible, to get house insurance here since then. Many of these now destroyed houses may be uninsured because California would not let the companies raise their rates to compensate for past fires. And then this other tweet from Laura Powell said that last year, State Farm canceled 1,600 policies in the Palisades because the state would not allow them to raise the premiums. The affected homeowners would then likely have to rely on the state-run plan, which is a super expensive last resort insurance program. But that plan only had a surplus of $200 million as of this past April and was going to become insolvent if there was an insurance event that they had to cover. So this is all, once again, government mismanagement. That is all this is about.
Tons of bureaucracy. And you know who ends up footing the bill for all this is the American taxpayer.
Yeah, if you don't think this is going to come to your pocketbook, Get ready.
It all
Buckle
comes
up.
It always comes down to us and our pocketbooks, you guys. Always comes
Yep.
back to us footing the bill for all this stuff, because these
Mhm.
states, a lot of these, the Democrats, they can't handle their own crap. These governors, mayors, whoever, they just don't want to, and they pass the buck. They're like, oh, I could just push it off on the American taxpayer because that's what they do, which is why we get screwed, why our taxes are so high. And then it's just
Mhm.
this awful, vicious cycle. So here we go again.
Yep,
Mhm.
here we go again. And you were mentioning earlier, like how would this be different if this were happening in Florida? Eric
Mhm.
Doherty posted, Florida cannot stop hurricanes from occurring, but it has become the best entity in the entire country at handling disaster recovery. California is to wildfires as Florida is to hurricanes. They've had years to figure this out. They're the largest state. They have the highest GDP. And these, at the very least, seem to have caught everyone off guard. They waited too long to evacuate. There's all these videos of people having to get away without warning because the authorities did not do their job. So this is mismanagement on every level. And Anna Kasparian was like beside her. I mean, she's got tons of people that she knows still there.
Yeah.
Go ahead and read this tweet from her.
Okay. California and especially LA is controlled by Democrats. They are responsible. No more passing the buck. Our mayor, who was in Ghana as fires exploded in our city, cut the fire budget by $17 million. Just as a side, I think she tried to cut it by 23, but they settled on 17. Endless amounts of money funneled to bullshit scammer homeless nonprofits. We're the highest taxed, yet we have encampments and squalor everywhere. Even worse, we don't have enough firefighters to respond to the absolute disaster we're experiencing right now. Rather than conserve the record rain we got last year, we just drained it into the ocean. We are a failing city run by a sick excuse for a local government. You want to radicalize people against the modern Democratic Party? Send them to LA. Yeah, she's right. It's like,
I hope other people figure this out.
Right?
God,
yeah,
what
Anna,
is it
you
going
are-
to take?
Yeah, apparently it's taking fire. It's taking people getting everything taken from them to become radicalized against the modern Democratic Party. I mean, it's wow. If that's what it takes,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
I thought this was very well said by Anna
Yeah,
Kasparian.
totally.
The people on the ground, like Anderson Cooper, a lot of these highfalutin, hoity-toity, millions of dollars a year reporters like that, they go out there because they want their moment in the spotlight. One of those people is David Muir. Am I saying that right? I hate that guy.
I don't.
God,
yeah,
I hate that guy.
Mhm.
So a lot of people they noticed as he was giving his report on scene in California, as he turned, because of course he's wearing a fireproof jacket. He wants to look
Right.
real firefighter-y. They noticed that he was wearing a clothespin to snatch it in, to make him snatched for his report, you guys.
To make him look hotter, you guys, hotter while he's on
Oh my
scene
God.
during a disaster. He's like,
We're not
"Hey,
making this up.
how's my hair? Is it helmety enough? Is it?" Oh my God. What a
Not
douche.
making this up. Here is the report. You'll see him turn and you will see the clothespin.
Shopping, a place to eat. Tonight, as you can see here behind me, it's been completely
There it is.
away. There are still flames burning from multiple buildings here and smoke.
Oh my God.
rising from the ash. Again, this is where the community would be at a time of
Can you guys even believe
Yeah,
that
I just-
he wanted to be snatched for his
Mhm.
big report?
Yeah, he's very
What an idiot.
He's very concerned about the way that he looks during a fire. Yeah, it's
And then-
journalism, you guys.
In a little bit, we'll get to CNN's Abby Phillips, because she was trying so desperately to make this about climate change and kept getting shot down and kept getting shot down. We'll get to that because, of course, she's at a national level. But even local news reporters in the LA area, you can tell which ones don't want this to be about Democrat leadership. We played for you yesterday a clip from someone who was reporting in about how there was a lack of water. And that report was played by this this local reporter who was insisting that no firefighters have told them or their crew that they're out of water. And then he went to one of their reporters on the scene who immediately countered him, and it was accidentally hilarious.
You've heard from Caruso, no firefighters have told us that they are running out of water.
And let's go out to Gigi Graciette. She is live in Pacific Palisades. I know your signal's not the best, but Gigi, what can you tell us?
Well, firefighters have told me they have no water on this block, and you may be able to make out the ember storm that we're in the middle of right now. This house is going to be a total loss. They have no water to put on this fire. They are standing by because they're trying to save the home that is next to it.
I mean,
Yes. Okay.
you can't make this up.
You can't. We're trying very hard here back at the studio to not make it look so. Oh crap. Okay. She told the truth. She told the truth.
Somebody just commented that we don't have Scott Jennings today, and that is a big fat lie.
He's
coming
coming.
up, you guys.
He's coming. We just didn't have him in the first hour, which is a
That's right.
rarity. But he's coming. Hold tight.
He's coming. Yes, hold tight. In fact, I think we just do have the one clip, but it's a good one. But before we get to that, we do have Dr. Drew, who was also doing his podcast or whatever, his video cast about the fires. And he made an excellent point about like electric cars and how they fit into this climate change picture.
Interesting things I want to point out is I think it's about 5 years of no gas-powered vehicles are the equivalent of what just went into the air here in Southern California. We've completely, whatever CO2 we are worried about putting into the atmosphere in California, we have completely undone anything we could possibly do by allowing these fires to occur.
It's a great point. And it's not over.
Oh, it's not by a long
not
shot.
Close to over. If it's only 30% contained, it's not over.
And that's just one of them. The other three
Right.
are 0%.
So yeah, but way to go, climate people.
Right. Good job.
Yeah.
Your smells are okay.
Yeah. The way to save that little fish, that little prick of a fish. Gosh.
I hate that freaking fish.
What a prick.
Okay, so here we have Scott Jennings pushing back against this whole climate change nonsense. And then we are going to have a GOP rep that I don't think we've ever played a clip of before. He's from South Dakota. His name's Dusty Johnson, because Abby, again, was like so wanting to make this not about politics or Democrat politics specifically. She was like Gavin Newsom, trying to shift blame and deflect and all that stuff. Scott and Dusty, we're not letting her have it. First up, here's Scott.
Issues here, and it has a lot to do with local governance. I mean, today I've heard Democrats try to deflect and say, "Oh, you're not allowed to politicize this right now," which means you're not allowed to criticize the decisions that we've made out here in California. I keep hearing climate change all day. Nobody seems to want to take responsibility for the local governance that has led to some of the failures and the devastation that we're seeing. The mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass, had one of the most disastrous public appearances I've ever seen in the face of an emergency today, when she was incapable of answering questions about her decision making. She had a terrible press conference. There's no local leadership. She was in Africa when this was going on and then had to scramble back. They did cut money from the fire department in Los Angeles.
They cut about $17 million. But I just want to know.
And people have questions about why that is. It's not.
But I just
it's not
want to know
politicizing things to raise public policy questions when this devastation.
Can I tell you that? Why does he have to start attacking people?
Okay, so that was the end of Scott, but you can see her trying to jump in and be like, I don't like this. I don't like where
And
this
why
is
would
going.
they defend this? Why are people even defending the local
I don't
government
know.
and the state government? Why would, if you're defending this, you're the problem.
Yeah.
You're a problem. What the hell is wrong with you? The place is burning.
Yeah. Be like Anna, recognize reality and just
Right.
freaking own it on their behalf. Like like if you want to be a Democrat still, fine, but at least we have always criticized Republicans when they do stupid shit.
Right.
Why I don't know why Democrats can't do the same, except
These
for
are-
Anna, who
these
always
are the
does.
same people, Mock, who are like, oh my God, Trump won the election because America is racist and misogynistic. That's
God.
why he won. That's why. That's
Oh my
why.
God.
Mhm.
So I did see somebody comment, Dusty Johnson, they should get that checked out by a doctor. Which totally made me giggle. I mean, it is kind of a funny name.
You
So
just get a
here's
Swiffer
Dusty.
for that. You just get a Swiffer and Swift it off.
So here's Dusty. And again, Abby really wants to fight him on this, but he's got his facts and he shuts her down, and it's beautiful.
Well, first off, I would tell you the tragedy we see unfolding is terrible. And obviously we all want to start there. Water storage is a problem. And you said it yourself. There's not enough water to fight 5 fires. You can't build water storage in California because you can't build anything in California. There's one water storage project in Sacramento Valley they've been trying to build for 40 years. The reality is the left will not let it advance.
Oh my
There should have been more water storage, and that would have helped save lives and property.
But I mean, what we are hearing from California officials is that this is a water pressure issue, that the water has to come down, and that in some areas the water pressure was lost as they tried to reestablish that pressure. It's not a absence of water. There is water.
No, it's the same issue. If you got water storage up on a hill or water storage with pumps, then you can maintain that water pressure. The reality is when they needed water to come out of those hydrants, it was not available. And it takes 7 years to get the same kind of project done in our country that you can get done in Canada or Australia in 2 years. We have made it impossible to build things, and that is a government problem.
Is that the problem in this case with this massive, I mean, the fire of this scale is not just about can they put out this house or that house. This is a fire that is being accelerated by incredible winds.
And government policy plays into that too. We across this country have made it impossible to manage forests. A managed forest is a healthy forest. Instead, across the country, we have turned them into tinder boxes. We see it. And frankly, if we don't let the loggers get in and a targeted and appropriate way get that underbrush out there, we will see more terrible visions like we have seen on your screen.
I just can't handle the stupidity. Okay. I've had enough of the stupidity. It's like, it's too much. It's too much for me. I can't. It's too much for one day. It's like, she's just like, but it's a pressure. If there's no water, you can't have pressure from the water. She has a whole
different issue.
She has a show. She's paid exponentially more money than I am. I can't handle the stupidity. It's so hard for me to do that. Our world is so borked right now because stupid people are running all the things. And it's I'm sorry. I'm just really infuriated today by a lot of things because there are so many stupid people, you guys. I'm sorry.
Well, unfortunately, you're about to get even madder because right now, apparently last night, there were reports that in the midst of all of this fire raging, there are arsonists setting more fires.
Again, with the stupid people.
So there were at least 5 guys going around, 911 callers saying 5 men in ski masks setting fires across LA. They're riding around on scooters, setting more fires. What the F?
Yeah, I don't even know how to comment on that other than people are depraved,
Oh my God.
There's such a loss of humanity.
I could not believe, and I did see one video of somebody that was standing on one side of a street filming people setting a fire on the other side of the street, and he was just like, I can't believe what I'm seeing. It's just, that's a level of evil that I can't even fathom.
Yeah, I know. I don't, and it is demonic. And somebody said they were looting homes too, which that actually doesn't surprise me. I mean, we've seen looting and stuff before, but I don't even know what to say to that. Everybody needs Jesus. I swear.
For real. And not to jump from one horrible topic to another, but that's what we're about to do because we have not yet addressed these rape gangs that Elon Musk has been bringing a lot of attention to on X. But this is a huge, huge problem in the UK. There's a lot of people talking about the fact that there's these Muslim Pakistani gangs that are going around and snatching up white young girls and raping them and murdering them. And then we've got an incompetent government, a liberal, incompetent government who refuses to address the problem. And the reason for my name today is after Kemi Badenoch, who is part of the Conservative Party, who has been pressing for an investigation, an inquiry into what's going on, because it seems that the police and the government are not wanting to address it because it makes them look Islamophobic, you guys.
Right.
And
It hurts the feel bads. It hurts the feel bads of the rapists.
Right. So here is Kemi. This was a video that she made before they took a vote on moving forward with an inquiry yesterday. This is her just putting out a public video to kind of explain the whole issue.
Last week, I called for a national inquiry into the rape gang scandal. Many people across the country agree.
Many campaigners and survivors have told GB News that the ICSA report was a sham. It only looked at a handful of locations. There are 49, at least, other towns and cities that they say need serious investigation.
Over the course of many years, thousands of young British girls were systematically raped and abused by gangs in towns and cities across the UK.
Plucked off street corners, thrown into taxis, taken into kebab shops, plied with alcohol, plied with drugs, and raped, exploited, murdered, and victimized by these gangs.
And in some cases, it appears police, politicians, and local officials colluded to keep this scandal under wraps.
Abuse had gone on for decades, and nobody responsible had been punished. The police and council had turned a blind eye to the abuse, or even blamed the raped girls.
The public demand answers. The victims deserve justice. But Keir Starmer and the Labour government are trying to sweep it under the rug. Keir Starmer thinks that calling for a national inquiry makes you part of a far-right bandwagon.
Calling for inquiries because they want to jump on a bandwagon of the far right.
Oh my gosh.
So, if the government won't hold an inquiry, we will force a vote in Parliament.
Isn't that just nuts? And so some of these girls, like I read about an 11-year-old girl who raped by hundreds of men, right? And so instead of protecting this girl, they threw her in prison for prostitution.
God. Oh my God.
Like, what the hell? What the hell, UK? Like, this is, and the reason that we talk about this, obviously we want to like tell you guys what's going on over there, because it's not like it couldn't happen here.
Or isn't happening. I mean,
Or
we
isn't
don't know.
happening. You're right. Or isn't already happening here. I mean, we've got what, 300,000 kids who have been trafficked into this country.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on with them? Do you hear about them on a daily basis? Does the news talk about them? I don't hear about them. Do you? What's going on with those kids?
So the vote happened yesterday, and here she is again, Kemi. This was before the vote was taken, but she was addressing Keir Starmer directly and telling him to basically grow a spine. Here she is.
Focus on what this is really about. This is not about. This is not about the Prime Minister's work in the CPS. And I would say very respectfully to the Prime Minister, it's not about you. It is about the victims. Be a leader, not a lawyer. We know that people were scared to tell the truth because they thought they would be called racist. If we want to stop this from ever happening again, we cannot be afraid. The Labour Party has adopted the APPG definition of Islamophobia. That same APPG report said talking about sex groomers was an example of Islamophobia. This is exactly why people are scared to tell the truth. And the lack of clarity means that innocent British Muslims are smeared by association. That is not fair, and only a national inquiry can solve this. So will the Prime Minister look again at the Labour Party's adoption of the definition of Islamophobia, its chilling effect, and rule out introducing it in government?
So it's Rich calling. I know, I love her. It's Rich calling her a racist, isn't it?
Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they'll do it, right? People will do it. They'll be like, oh, she's like racist. She's Islamophobic.
She's Islamophobic. Oh my
Like,
God.
Isn't it crazy? Our world is
It is.
nuts.
It
It's
is crazy.
nuts.
And unfortunately, the UK government is dominated right now by the Labour Party, who is full of these very kinds of people
Whack
who
jobs.
are part of the cover-up, right? So
Right.
they took the vote yesterday, and this is what happened.
The ayes to the right were 111, the noes to the left 364. So the noes have it, the noes have it. Unlock.
So there will not be an inquiry.
Can you believe this crap?
It's just not going to happen.
Dang,
And
it's like they're all yay for rape.
Right. And if you look at one of the meetings that the Labor Party has when they are meeting, this is what it looks like. If this gives you a clue, they segregate. Okay, they segregate their own freaking meetings, and then everybody else is wondering, well, I wonder why they didn't want to do an inquiry. That seems weird. Seriously?
Unbelievable. Look at this bullshit. I cannot. If this stuff better never make it to America.
But think about all the illegals that are here that are from those very communities.
Yep. And think about it's already infiltrating like our legislative branch. It's already like, and then if you dare to say anything about it, you're just a horrible, horrible person. Because everything on the left, as we know, is about the feels. It's all about the feels. And if you say anything against it, you're just a terrible human being or you're canceled. Look at all the people over the past 10 years that have been canceled for daring to speak up, right? Against things like rape, and Sharia law, which it's made its way into the UK. What?
Or I mean, look at freaking Michigan, Dearbornistan, right? I mean, like it's not like this is some faraway place that we don't have to worry about. We have to worry about it.
It's here.
We got to worry about it.
Yeah, and they're in it for the long game, man. So
absolutely,
just putting it out there. This is happening in the UK. It's a travesty. It shouldn't be happening. And we need to protect our children, protect all of our children. Ridiculous. This is just nasty, nasty stuff.
Yep. All right, let's move on to some slightly less horrible stuff.
That would be
great. We're going to make fun of a couple liberals here first. Anthony Blinken, who is just completely blowing off the idea that Trump put forward the other day at his press conference about assuming control, shall we say, of Greenland. He's just poo-pooing it outright, not understanding that Trump is trying to start a very important conversation. Here is Anthony Blinken.
The idea expressed about Greenland is obviously not a good one, but maybe more important, it's obviously one that's not going to happen. So we probably shouldn't waste a lot of time talking about it.
That was not smart. That wasn't smart. Don't tell Trump that he can't do something.
Right? And you're there for what, like 12 more days?
Yeah, like 12
You
seconds.
don't get to say what's going to happen.
Yeah, you don't just buy. You just it's just not a smart tactic to be like Trump can't do this or the Trump or the administration can't do that or these people aren't capable. Just not smart. It's like he's not the person to do that to. I don't like when people do that to me.
Yeah.
Trump is like me, like on such a higher scale. He's just like, oh, really? Hold my beer.
You know what that reminds me of? Reminds me of this.
Totally. I mean, that pisses me off when people say that kind of stuff. And I know that Trump is like that kind of a person amplified to the nth degree. He's like, oh, really? Okay, I'll show you. Yeah.
Well, and people are acting similarly about the idea of changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. So we've got a couple of liberals absolutely in freak out mode about that idea. I'll just play them both together.
He said, let's change the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America.
Is she okay?
We could have had our first female president.
Hide your kids, hide your wives.
The Gulf of America? You fucking idiots. Like, you fucking idiots elected a fucking idiot. And that's what he's focused on. He's going to change the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. Great job. You wanted cheaper eggs and your fucking cheese.
What's wrong with effing cheese? I like cheese.
Yeah, you can take your vacation down to the Gulf of America. Good for you.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Merry Christmas. Because, we haven't been able to say that.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. It's from the Gulf of America. Hell yes. I cannot wait to go to the Gulf of America and do a Merry Christmas post from there on Instagram. Actually, from the new TikTok. I may actually get on TikTok if somebody in America buys it. Woo! Merry Christmas from the Gulf of America, bitches. It's going to be me. I can't wait. It's going to be great.
Well, and if you don't think this can happen, Charlie Kirk was on with Glenn Beck yesterday to tell him exactly how it can happen. I did not know any of this. Glenn Beck clearly did not know any of this, but this sounds amazing.
Didn't it just say it's going to be the Gulf of America?
That's a really interesting question. The answer is yes. So there's these boards and commissions that rarely get any of attention. You might remember Obama went through one of those boards and commissions and renamed Mount McKinley to Denali.
Yes.
And
Right.
so it's just a naming commission, and the president has full authority of who sits on them. And so the president is probably going to put 5 or 6 loyalists there and rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America.
I love that.
By the way, more
I love
of
that.
our coastline is there. Why is it that we named it the Gulf of Mexico? So that one's
Yes.
getting done. Out of all the ones, it is going to be the Gulf of America, and
I love that.
President Trump, that will be one of his many legacies.
I mean, why not? If they can rename Fort Hood here in Texas, why can't we rename that?
Yeah.
We went through all the crap with that. We all have to call it Fort Cavazos now. Why can't we rename the Gulf of Mexico? It's so stupid. Why can't we do that? There was some guy that said that I think it was General Sherman, some dude named General Sherman on TikTok. He said that Biden banned offshore drilling in the Gulf of Mexico. Okay. So Trump's like, okay, fine. Well, we'll rename it. And then we'll just drill there.
I love that.
We'll drill in the Gulf of America. and I was like, I love this
that. Oh my God, I love that so much.
So F you, we'll drill in the Gulf of America. We're not drilling in the Gulf of Mexico. We're drilling in the Gulf of America. How's that, Biden? Yeah.
Oh my God, brilliant.
It is brilliant.
I love it.
Yeah.
There are some liberals who are, I don't want to say approving necessarily of what Donald Trump said in the presser the other day, but at least having some respect for the balls that he has to say those things.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those people is Charlemagne the God. I hate saying his name because it's so freaking stupid.
It is dumb.
But he's giving some credit to Donald Trump for saying all the things. Here he is.
Shows me what's politically possible. Trump shows me what presidents can do if they want to do it. Donald Trump shows me what can be said if you are willing to say it. It's not about what can't be done. It's about who has the political will to do it. I don't want to hear a peep from Democrats about nothing until they get the balls to say what's really on their mind in regards to this country and this world. Trump doesn't care if it sounds ridiculous. Trump doesn't care if it makes sense. It's no political correctness whatsoever. As I've been saying for years, the language of politics is dead, and Donald Trump killed it.
I'm glad that he said the word balls, because he has giant, hairy, platinum balls, you know? But this is the thing too, is that, like, I'm sure when he was just in the private sector and he was buying stuff and rolling the dice and taking risks and doing things that seemed crazy to normal Americans, it wasn't crazy to him. That's the way that he rolls.
Mhm.
That's why he is so successful. That's why he's a billionaire and a lot of people aren't. It's because he's willing to take those risks. He believes in himself. He visualizes things that people can't visualize. He's a manifester, man. He's just like, I can see that this is going to happen. Other people are like, you're crazy. Okay,
Yeah.
well, you're comfy in your nice warm house, and you're not willing to take the risk. You're not willing to see that this wonderful, beautiful, crazy thing can happen. He does that. Some people can do that. Some people can't. Some people are oaks. Some people are willows. He's an oak.
Some people need like written out notes to remember URLs, and some
Right.
people just lead and they can just handle a press conference
Some
without
people-
notes at all.
Some people don't even know what a URL is, and then they become mayor. How that happens is Democrats. That's how that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, it is time for some My Pillow Talks. You guys, the first one is not really a My Pillow Talk. It just made me so happy to rewatch this clip of Sunny Hostin being so smug about Donald Trump being accused of insurance fraud
Oh
back
my
in the
God.
day. Her face and the way that she is relishing the possibility of Trump being sentenced to 20 years in prison over insurance fraud. And now that her husband has been accused of that
Yes.
exact crime, this is just a delight
It is delicious.
to watch.
Criminal case now, the prosecutors are like, oh, really? Well, how about we add some additional fraud charges onto you? And they're talking about threatening him with insurance fraud, which I would say you could get about 20 years in prison. So that's a
Whoa.
death sentence for him.
You see how she
wow.
did the same Kamala thing where
did.
she's like,
She was
this is a
doing that.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
20 years we get. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, God. I wonder if she'll have to move out of that 10-bedroom, 10-bath mansion that she lives in. I'm sorry.
Where does she live?
New Jersey, I think. That very
Okay.
oppressive 10-bedroom, 10-bath mansion.
It's a tough life, man. It's really,
Very
really tough.
So sorry for her.
Okay, and now we've got some a few just really, really good talks. So this is a news report. The caption says something about how this news reporter really needs a raise. So I don't know who this is. This is like a local story about, some guy that's committed a crime, and they're asking the community to help find this guy.
Okay.
And then the news reporter is told, or he's got on his, teleprompter, that they're going to show a sketch of the guy to help the public identify him and find him. When he sees the sketch, you guys, somehow he holds it together, and then the clip just gets better and better. Behold.
And police officers in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, were asking people to be on the lookout for a man who robbed a store. And I think we do have his description. Can we take that? Let's take his description.
Look at his face.
Okay, this is the guy they wanted people in Pennsylvania to be out on the lookout for.
Right.
He's got a nose and some hair that goes like that, and he was wearing a hat at the time of this particular crime. He's got kind of a chin that comes down to almost a point.
He has a dog named Snoopy.
Stands about 5 feet 4 inches tall. There it is. Get a good look for yourself. Oh, and now I'm getting word that police actually caught this guy.
Oh.
Thanks to the sketch, no doubt. So here's a picture of the real guy next to the sketch that led to his arrest.
Where's the pointy chin?
It's uncanny, Lisa. The guy on the left is now charged with 2 counts of theft. Is being held in the Lancaster jail.
Oh my gosh.
I just cannot believe it.
He seriously did look like Phil Collins, though, a little bit, didn't he?
A little bit.
The sketch was mean. The sketch was really mean.
Anyway, I just love that.
Yeah.
Also, so we're going to have one animal talk and then one just super feel good, because we need it.
We need it, you guys.
To close out the show today. Here is a baby goat. Actually, several baby goats. In fact, they're such babies that they're handheld baby goats.
Oh my. Yes, Steve, I need a goat. Look at them all just sweet in your palm.
Is that the cutest thing you ever saw in your life?
Yes.
Oh my God. All right. And then lastly, a mama is having a tough time. I don't know what's going on with the mom, but she's taught her daughter well. And her daughter is giving her the sweetest pep talk that you will ever hear. This is completely precious.
You said that you were here for me, and what else did you say?
Son, not daughter. Sorry.
Sometimes you think you're alone, but you're not. You have me, you have God, and you have Jesus, and you have yourself in the heart.
Oh my gosh.
And it's okay. We'll get through this together. Okay, Mom? It's okay. You don't even gotta worry and stress about it. Because you know why? Try to guess.
Because I have you and God.
Exactly. You have me and God. Right by your side. We're sticking on you. We're holding your hand right now. As we're going through these tough trials. So it's okay. You got this, Mom.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that. You're very sweet. And it does help me to feel at peace knowing that you are here with me and by my side. I appreciate that. Okay?
You're welcome, Mom.
Even though I don't want you carrying my stressors and my worries. That's why I try not to show it too much in front of you, because I don't want you carrying that. I want you to focus on being a kid, playing, having fun, scraping your knees, playing in the dirt, swimming, reading books, thinking about what new toy you want when we go to the store, not worrying about mommy's problems. You understand me?
Yes, Mom.
I'll worry about it. I'm strong enough. I can handle it. Okay?
Okay.
You don't worry about it.
Yes.
That was a 42-year-old man in a 3-year-old body.
Wasn't he
precious.
the most darling?
Absolutely darling. It's
Oh
so
my God.
sweet. Gosh, he's just ready to go out and just work and take care of his mama.
He's
I love
ready to
that
be a
kid.
therapist.
Yeah. Precious.
Oh my God, so cute. We do have a Venmo from yesterday. This is from Ann Bedell, who said, regarding your comments about the California fires, those people who vote for Newsom and the Dems are the same people who are too dumb to leave their burning houses and the others who leave locked cars parked in the middle of the road. That is from Ann. And then also today from Marilyn Air, she said, good morning, beautiful chicks. I saw a video of a woman saying this is to destroy evidence against Hollywood pedos. Thoughts? Like the fires?
Oh my gosh. That's an interesting take.
And did not think it seems like this is a little bit of overkill if they need to destroy evidence. I feel like this is a little bit of a shark jump.
It is.
You know what I
like
mean?
Jumping all the sharks on happy days, like every
all of them.
Shark. Yeah, every shark in the ocean. But okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, now you.
All right, Samantha Capehart. I took my kids to the President Carter Memorial at the Capitol yesterday. Party lines aside, it was a beautiful tribute and a great experience.
That's cool. That's really, really cool that you got to do that.
Very lovely. Charity Inglis. My hubs experienced same thing as Adam with IMPD about 25 years ago and had to get a higher test score to go through. I guess the same thing as Adam Carolla.
Oh, yeah.
IMPD about 25 years ago, and he had to get a higher test score to go through. Ridiculous. It is ridiculous.
It is completely.
Robert Clark. Gavin Newsom is Nancy Pelosi's nephew, and it shows. Yep, he is. And it does show. Absolutely. Teresa Raimundo. New scum hasn't had a clear thought since the advent of hair grease. True. Reba Henry. What about the people in Maui? Yes, you're absolutely right. They have been forgotten. So maybe there is such thing as celebrity privilege. Yeah, I actually believe that there is a lot of celebrity privilege, and I'll be very curious to see how all this pans out. Andrea Viola, want to beat the arsonists? Want to bet the arsonists are illegals or terrorists?
I would not be surprised.
It wouldn't shock me in the least either.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, you guys. It's Thursday.
Yeah, sorry that it was like such a bummer of a show.
It was,
but
we couldn't really help.
News cycle.
The news cycle is a little bit harsh right now. There's really nothing we can do about that. But we're getting through it together, you guys. We are.
And tomorrow's Friday.
Can you believe this week has flown?
Yeah.
Everybody bring it in. It's really flown. Our first week back from holiday break. You guys, we made it almost to Friday. Everybody have the most delightful day. We will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.
Hello, beautiful people. This is the Chicks on the Right's Indian correspondent. Thank you for watching or listening. Be very sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay up to date on all of their delicious content. Okay, thank you. Come again.